You're standing in a river in waders, holding a fishing rod, and you've just caught something. It pulls hard, fights the line, and for a few seconds your whole body is focused on it. You're not hungry. You're not planning to eat it. In a few seconds, you're going to slide it back into the water and watch it swim away. You'll probably do this again in 20 minutes, chasing the exact same feeling. You assume this is just a hobby, a harmless way to pass an afternoon. But the real answer is far stranger. You are doing something almost no other animal on Earth does. You are hunting purely for the feeling of the hunt. For most of the animal kingdom, killing is expensive. Every chase burns calories that have to be earned back. A lion that sprints and misses has wasted energy it cannot afford to waste twice in one day. So most hunts in nature end the moment hunger is satisfied. There are exceptions. Foxes sometimes raid hen houses and kill far more birds than they could ever eat in one sitting, a behavior researchers call surplus killing, first documented in detail by zoologist Hans Kruk while studying hyenas and other carnivores in the wild. Orcas have been seen tossing seals into the air for what looks suspiciously like sport before finally finishing the kill, playing with their prey the way a cat plays with string. Domestic cats, fed and content, will still stalk, pounce, and kill a toy mouse with the exact same sequence of crouch, twitch, and pounce used on a real one, even though no food is waiting at the end. So the instinct to chase, even past the point of need, isn't unique to humans. But what humans do with that instinct is on a completely different scale, and it starts with something stranger than claws or fangs. Your ancestors didn't have sharp teeth. They didn't have great speed compared to almost anything they hunted. And in a flat-out sprint, a human loses to nearly every four-legged animal on the savanna. What they had was endurance, and that single trait may have rewired the entire human brain around the chase. Harvard biologists Daniel Lieberman and Dennis Bramble built a body of research around what's now called the endurance running hypothesis, examining the human body almost like a piece of evidence left at a crime scene. Look at the human skeleton and you'll find a strange list of features that make no sense for walking, but make perfect sense for running long distances. A long Achilles tendon that stores and releases energy like a spring with every stride. Big, springy arches in the feet that act as natural shock absorbers. Something flat-footed primates simply don't have. A nuchal ligament at the back of the skull, found in almost no other primates, that stabilizes the head during a steady, repetitive stride so your eyes don't bounce uselessly with every footfall. Large gluteal muscles that barely activate while walking, but fire hard during a run, keeping the torso upright instead of pitching forward with every step. None of this matters for a sprint. All of it matters for hours. That's the key detail. Hours. Lieberman and Bramble argue your ancestors weren't built to outrun prey in a burst. They were built to outlast it. This is called persistence hunting, and it still exists in a few places today, practiced by groups like the Sand People of the Kalahari. A hunter picks a single animal, often a kudu or an eland, and simply follows, not sprinting, just a steady jog, hour after hour, in the heat of the day, when four-legged animals start to overheat because they can't release body heat as efficiently as an upright, mostly hairless human covered in sweat glands instead of fur. Eventually, the animal collapses from heat exhaustion, and the hunter, who has been pacing himself the entire time, finishes what gravity and biology already started. A hunt like this can take 2, 3, sometimes 5 hours, often across open, sun-scorched terrain, with no guarantee the animal won't simply outlast the chase. That is not a quick kill driven by panic or hunger alone. That is a pursuit, drawn out, demanding patience, planning, and something that starts to look a lot like commitment. Why would evolution build a brain that enjoys something that takes 5 hours and offers no guarantee of food at the end? Here's where it gets interesting, because the reward almost certainly isn't only the meat. Tracking, predicting, anticipating where an animal will go next, all of that activates the same dopamine pathways involved in problem solving and anticipation more broadly. The same circuitry that lights up when you're closing in on any uncertain, effortful goal. Anthropologists studying persistence hunters have noted that the hunt is described less like a chore and more like an absorbing, almost meditative challenge. one that hunters return to and talk about long after the animal is eaten. The chase itself appears to have become rewarding, independent of the outcome.